It's a beautiful day to you, our lovely and smart real estate investors, both at home and also in diaspora. Hope you all are doing well today. I'm super delighted to welcome you to another insightful episode of Property Matters here on YouTube. In case you're coming across this channel for the first time, I am Adejari. I'm your host on Property Matters. So, for somebody who might just be seeing this video for the first time, this is where we discuss the do's and don'ts of real estate. We've done an educative and insightful video on land documentation, land verification, title verification, how to spot a manipulative real estate developer, how to spot a manipulative real estate transaction. We have a playlist on shortlets. We have a playlist on apartments. We have a playlist on off-plan projects. We've discussed an extensive features and criteria of a good real estate developer who will deliver a good and, of course, a quality off-plan project. We've talked about Omonile Palava. We've talked about the Fort Mainland Bridge. We've talked about the deep support and the effect on the economy. In case you're wondering why this channel is very important, it is at Property Matters you get to understand all the hidden secrets, mysteries, as well as profitable real estate locations you should consider. I am Adejare once more. Do well to subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell, share this video with your loved ones, and you'll be super glad you did. I'll be back immediately after this short commercial. You're welcome back. I'm super delighted to be on your screen today, doing what I love to do best, educating you about everything you need to know, things you need to put into consideration before you venture into any form of investment. More importantly, I'm in the Lagos State real estate markets. So today, I'm going to be discussing an important subject today, and I'm going to be focusing my emphasis on what most people do ignore. In the previous episode, I outlined some of the things you need to understand and where you should pitch your investments, more importantly, when we are having different infrastructural developments in Lagos. And before I go into today's topic, I'm going to be addressing some fears of real estate investors, more importantly, Nigerians in diaspora. I was talking with an investor today, and the man said that the reason why he has decided to pause all his real estate investment basically is that he heard rumor that the forthcoming presidential general elections will not be peaceful. And of course, he was told by some myopic investors that he should suspend every part or any plan of investment in the Nigerian real estate market. You see, what many people don't understand when it comes to real estate investment is that Lagos is the commercial city of the nation. Lagos is one of the fast industrialized city, and the rapid development of different infrastructural projects in Lagos has made Lagos one of the topmost real estate investment destination, not only in Nigeria, but in Africa. And of course, statistics have shown that Lagos may be one of the most sought real estate destinations in the world. I've addressed this matter before, but I just felt that before I go deeply into today's topic, I should, address some issues. Now, Nigeria as a nation has its challenges just like every other nations of the world. Lagos State obviously had one or two challenges just like every state across the world. But one thing you need to understand is that regardless of who becomes the president of Nigeria in 2023, the real estate market will keep on appreciating at a faster rate. So your decision to pause may not be a favorable one, but because by the time you're ready to do an investment, you'll be paying times four of what the market is supposed to be right now. I also want you to understand that a whole lot of stakeholders have a lot of investment in Lagos. Let me quickly remind you that it is in Lagos that we have the one of the largest refinery in Africa, one of the largest deep sea port in Africa. Lagos is, proposing the project of the Fort Mainland Bridge. There are several infrastructural developments across Lagos. So even if there's a general election, I can assure you that regardless of what the outcome of the election will be, Lagos will still remain peaceful and things will still go as usual. For someone will be saying, are you a soothsayer? You must be a prophet for you to know what will come up. Let me also remind you that top African banks have investments in Lagos. Nations across the world have investments in Lagos. So if anything should happen to Lagos, that means that several countries across the world will feel the economic brunt because most nations of the world are fetching most of their resources in Lagos. So this is to assure you that regardless of who becomes the president of Nigeria come February 25th, 2023, Lagos real estate investment market will not be affected. So I want to allay the fear of violence, the fear of war. That ain't gonna happen because one of the reasons why I love Lagos basically is that Lagos, Nigeria is one of the most organized cities in Africa. The security level here is top notch. We have a lot of internal security and nobody will dare raise a finger. Even despite the fact that a lot of states across the nation have experienced insecurity, you will agree with me that Lagos State as a nation, as a state, has been able to put all these things into control and everything has been going peacefully. So dear investors, don't allow people who doesn't understand real estate investment to discourage you from investing in Lagos. One thing about the market is that the longer you wait, the more the property becomes expensive. So that is obviously to quickly address and allay the fear of people who might be being skeptical because of the general election. I also wanted to understand that Lagos State is one of the most organized states, and that's why even people abroad, top industries across the world, still have stakes in Lagos. So with this investment, you can be rest assured that Lagos will remain peaceful and progressive as it has always been. So this is just to address our investors that you can go ahead with any form of real estate investment. I just did some investment recently and I'm super glad I did. And I'm also looking forward to do more. So I'll be back immediately after this short commercial to quickly address what I have for you today. From the foregoing discussion, you're welcome back. You've seen that the peace and of course progress of Lagos is a top priority, not only to Lagosians, not only to the governor, not only to the president, but also to some nations across the world who have also benefited economy because of the factories and companies that they have in Lagos. So dear real estate investors, whether you are at home or you are in diaspora, regardless of who becomes the president of Nigeria on the 25th of February 2023, you can be rest assured that Lagos or Nigeria, just like every nations of the world, have had their challenges and over time they will overcome it. So I want you guys to understand that Lagos is composed, Lagos is organized. There won't be crisis, even if there is, of course, maybe because of some grievances. I can assure you that every crisis will be adequately taken care of, and the peace, progress, and tranquility of Lagos will proceed. So on today's episode of Property Matters, I've said a lot, so it's going to be brief, just like it has always been. I'm going to be talking about why some real estate companies have failed to deliver on their promises, and their failure to deliver on their promises have negatively affected the property that you have bought. You know, I was speaking with an investor. This man was is in California at the moment, and we got talking. And of course, because of safety, I can't reveal the location of the property. So he called me and said, "Adejare, I bought a property in 2016. What can you? So what do you think is actually the worth of the property?" I think he bought that property. Of course, at that time, properties in Ibeju Lekki were selling around 800, and it was like the property should be worth 5 million naira. Now he was asking, so what do I think? I said, well, what is being done basically in the Lagos real estate market is that a lot of realtors do what we call overhyping. Now, if you should tell me that you bought a property in 2018 and are expecting the property to be 5 million, the simple question I asked him was that what exactly is the state of the property? Now, the reason why a lot of real estate developer were unable to deliver on the promises that was made on some of the properties, and the reason why some properties have not appreciated despite the fact that they were supposed to appreciate in value. You need to understand very well that when it comes to real estate investment, I've said this several times and I'm going to say this again. We have every Tom, Dick, and Harry setting up a real estate company. So it is not all of them that have the capacity to deliver. Number one, the reason why a lot of them have failed to deliver and the reason why the property you have bought has not appreciated the way it ought to is due to the fact that, number one, majority of them fail to deliver on title perfection. Don't let anybody fool you. Don't allow anybody to sweet talk you. In as much as the fact that your property does not have a recognized title, even if they tell you the property is worth 10 million, it is only a novice that will go to Ibeju Lekki and buy an untitled property for millions. It doesn't matter what they've told you. It doesn't matter the hype or the overhyping they've said or the sweet thing they've told you about your property just to calm you down. In as much as fact that your property does not have a recognized title, the price of appreciation they are giving you will be totally worthless. So, and that could be the reason why your property has not appreciated. We all know that Ibeju Lekki obviously is the zone at which government have interest, not just only in Ibeju Lekki, different parts across the Lagos. And when you see companies like Veritas sell Itunu for 36 million, when you see companies like Landmark sell Fairmont and all, of course, the Lagoon Front estate for 16, 18, 20 million. When you see other companies like Zelos sell Tiwa Garden for 90 million, this is due to the fact that those properties have titles. A property with a C of O can sell for 40 million. A property with C of O can sell for 50, 60 million, regardless of the location. The title obviously is what determines whether a property will appreciate in value or not. Forget the overhyping that most people are telling you. In as much as fact that your property doesn't have a title, if they are trying to overhype it for you, my brothers and sisters, both at home and in diaspora, don't be deceived, okay? That is one of the reasons why some of the properties you have bought have not appreciated in value. The second reason why some of the properties you have bought have not appreciated in value, and why some of these real estate companies have failed to deliver on their infrastructure, is just due to the fact that many of them lack the capacity to do so. Many of them lack the capacity, and this is due to the fact that, let's give an instance, a whole lot of people sold Ibeju Lekki, the Folu axis, the Odiomi axis, the Ise axis, the Lakampai Tropicana axis, the Itamaro axis. Many of them sold some of those properties. Some were acquisition in process, some were freehold. Of course, you know, to an extent, I've been able to explain what you need to know about freehold. And most of the things they told you, basically, a lot of them even promised that by the time they get a title, they are going to do put a lot of infrastructures in place. Now, one of the things you need to understand was that the price of development as at that time was based on the rate at which building materials were sold. Many of these companies promise 24 hours electricity when we all know that nobody enjoys 24 hours electricity. Even the developer that is promising you 24-hour electricity at Ibeju Lekki, at Ibogun, perhaps maybe using a generator or a solar panel in his house. So we know the way the situation and the condition of the country is. Of course, we know it will get better as time goes on. Of course, as we begin to have new, train of government. So the point now is the rate at which many of them charge for development. So some promise drainages, some promise perimeter fencing. To an extent, some companies did some perimeter fences without gates. Some did some perimeter fences with inferior gates. Some did perimeter fencing with some didn't even do the total perimeter fencing. What majority of them did basically was just to fence the front to show you that they have acquired the estate. And in most cases, for other developers or other omonile that owns property, in as much as the fact that that property has not been gated, it has not been entirely fenced, you should be rest assured that anybody can invade that property and take some portion to themselves. That is not that. So the rate of the development fee presently cannot give them the so-called promises they promise to deliver. Some people said we're going to do drainages, we're going to do green area, we're going to do children playground, we're going to do swimming pool, we're going to put transformers. Go to that estate. Now the only thing you find out, if the estates are still existing anyway, is that you just see gates and of course some inferior gates and some fence. In most cases the fence don't even go round. So the rate of development as at that time, the prices of building materials have changed. So many of them can obviously not deliver on their promises. So these are some of the things you need to know. So what majority of them did as at that time was just to start with those little projects. The funds that was gathered from that little project were used to start other projects elsewhere, whereby the ones that was used were totally abandoned. Dear investor, when you want to do a real estate investment, now the reason why I'm doing this series basically is due to the fact that I understand that several people work different jobs to raise funds. So you need to understand that when it comes to real estate investments, you need not to be careful, you need to be extra careful. And one of the way you can ensure that you don't throw money into thin air is to engage professionals like us who understand the market, who can guide you on where to go. So in case you want to do another real estate investment, I'm going to be showing you 3 important things you should put into consideration before you deal with any real estate company in this 2023. I've done this series before. I'm going to do it again so that you can understand. Number 1, the track record of the company, their delivery. Now, when we talk about delivery, we have different kind of deliveries. Now, when you look at some top real estate companies in Lagos, Nigeria, what some people call development is superior to what other developers call development. I will explain. Like some estates, I've seen some off-plan projects whereby what the developer has done basically is just to construct the house. Okay, they tell you they are doing an off-plan project. What they've done basically is just to construct the house. If you go to the places you have bought off-plan, the access road there is terrible. In fact, in some places are heavily flooded. And what you don't know basically is that once some developers, I don't want to be misquoted, once some developers start a project, the moment they have realized good profits from that project, what some of them do is that they abandon that project and they start another. In most cases, when criticism come and a lot of people are shouting, they just go back to that project and just do something shabbily and still abandon it. There are some off-plan projects whereby the buildings, they should tell you that some of the projects they've done was maybe 1 year ago, you would doubt it. Some offline project look like project that they've been doing for 5, 10, 20 years. And it's not because of the fact that there is no continuity. There is no continuity. I'm still yet, of course, there are several other companies that have delivered, but there are some companies that what they've just done is just to build the house. No internal good drainage, no, in fact, some houses don't even have electricity. Some people don't have poles. And what they do basically is that once they've done, they've moved to the other project. So you need to check the track record. Have these guys done an estate that is functional? Do they have power supply in their estate? Do they have good road in their estate? Do they have drainages in their estate? These are the things you need to put into consideration. So you need to look beyond the advertisement you're saying. A lot of people have paid for properties, they have not gotten it. A lot of people have done investment and they are regretting. And most of these people that brings you to buy properties from them don't give a damn. Once they have been compensated, once they have what they want, they leave you to your fate. So you need to understand that once this guy is providing this, you need to go and check. Does he have the capacity to deliver? So in 2023, check track record. The next thing is that check their integrity. A lot of these people don't have, in fact, majority of them don't even have conscience. So these are some of the things you need to know. See, this is why we have to be involved. So I don't want to talk too much. I will continue this video in, of course, in other episodes. In case you have any questions, you can drop your questions, you can drop your inquiries. We'll be very, very delighted. Of course, if you feel like you want to call us, of course you can call us. We can provide some, professional advice. Like I said, we have team of legal, some surveyors at Alausa, and we also have some working with us on the island here. And of course, we have some legal team that also help do 1 or 2 verification. You can call us for any form of real estate investment. Of course, we sell properties, so you want to do real estate investment, of course, you should do it through us. Until I come your way again in my next video, take good care of yourself. Have a nice day, and bye for now.